Well, we're back for the final time, as today we're looking at what is, as of right now, the last NERD album. It took me over a year to get it for some reason, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, after the disappointment of Nothing, the band went on a very long hiatus in which Pharrell would take his solo career to a whole new level and truly make a name for himself as a record producer. But in 2015, NERD would return to work on the soundtrack for the Sponge Out of Water movie, which is very fitting for this band. And the songs they made for that movie are actually really good. Squeeze Me, Patrick Star, and Sandy Squirrel are all bangers, and they're also the first NERD songs I ever heard, which means that SpongeBob himself is technically what got me into the band in the first place. But to be fair, I also got into Tyler the Creator because of his work on the damn Grinch soundtrack, so I guess it's not too out of the ordinary. Anyway, after the SpongeBob movie, the band confirmed that they've been working on even more new music, and 2 years later, they end up releasing their 5th album, No One Ever Really Dies, which is what NERD stands for, in case you didn't know that. This is the first album I heard from the band. I remember in December of 2017, going back to the SpongeBob soundtrack and wanting to hear more from NERD because I like those songs so much. And this album had recently come out, so I listened to it and I was automatically a fan. This album is such an improvement from Nothing in every way possible. All the energy and creativity that was lacking from that record is back in full force in this one, and they sound so much more lively on every song. No One Ever Really Dies feels like a return to form, but also an evolution of their sound. It's like they took the punk rock influence from Fly or Die and Seeing Sounds and expanded upon it in a way that feels more modern, and it works extremely well. There are so many bangers on this album. The amount of raw, unfiltered energy on every track is impeccable. These are some of the most energetic and simply insane songs these guys have ever put out. The main thing that sets this record apart from the others is the influx of collaborations, which is pretty rare for earlier NERD work. Most of the guest artists do a great job on this record though, and add a lot to its sound. This is also a very politically charged record, which isn't new for the band since they've always been a pretty political group, but this is definitely the most they've delved into social issues in their music. Anyway, I think it's about time we get into these tracks.
The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off.
Hey, bad bitches wanna be my babe. Hey, coming down like the CIA.
This album starts out with an absolute banger, and with this being their first record in over 7 years, it's only fitting. We go right into the song immediately, with the heavy drums and pulsing bass line, as we get a mix of punk rock and rap, with Pharrell shouting over this frantic instrumental. Then after the second hook, the beat switches into a much more hip-hop oriented sound, and we get an immaculate verse from Rihanna. God damn, what a way to start a record. You know they mean business the second the song starts. This is seriously one of the best openers they've done, and builds up a lot of hype for the album.
Living. I live it how I get it. Count the motherfucking digits. I pull up with a lemon.
Oh, and hey, by the way.
This song starts out relatively slow, with it only being keys and a really good bass line, which is actually played by Thundercat, and Pharrell's vocals are a lot deeper and contemplative, until we get this ramp up of energy in the pre-chorus, as the drums come in and we get that amazing chanting hook. The way this song is structured is perfect for live performances, and the lyrics delve into the corrupt nature of politicians, and how we as a society need to rise up against that corruption. The vocals on this song are incredible, and the bass line, as I already mentioned, is as well. 2 songs in, this is already one of the best tracks on the record.
They think I'm a magician. They think I know magic.
Voila is a really fun one, with a really catchy hook from Gucci Mane and some great robotic sounding vocals from Shay. This song, as well as the last one, have a real funk rock vibe to them, which sounds like something straight out of Fly or Die, which is obviously a plus for me. This is another stadium level hook that's amazingly catchy, but then when you think the song is over, we get that beat switch at the end, and a great verse from Wale. This song is super fun and super well produced.
You have the power to change the course of the night. Assembling a riot, chanting and circling the fires.
Oh my god, this song goes so crazy. I really hope NERD reforms someday, because I need to see this song live at least once. This is one of those songs that makes you want to destroy your room, and it stands alongside the other super energetic tracks from the band, like Rockstar and Spaz. The synthesizers and the heavy hitting drums add so much to this song, and they go absolutely insane. I cannot help but scream, "Holy shit, it's freaking!" whenever I hear this song. It's just too catchy and punk rocky. Punk rocky is not a word. Anyway, the future verse is pretty good, but the real highlight is the bridge, where we get a really great performance from Shay. The entire song is just an absolute banger and one of the best on the entire record.
It'll be 1,000,410,009.
This is another great song and has an amazing verse from Kendrick Lamar, who definitely steals the show. Much like Deep Down Body Thirst, this song starts out pretty mellow with a pretty chord progression that feels very R&B inspired, and then we get thrown to this very ska-influenced beat with shuffling drums and fast guitar licks. The song is about racial injustice and police brutality, and that message is portrayed in a very powerful way and feels like another stadium-level anthem track. This song is just so weird and full of so many different styles in the best way possible.
You got energy, but you ain't gonna use it. You got so much time.
ESP is by far the best song on the album. The amount of energy, pun intended, on this track is insane, and the way the beat constantly switches back and forth is expertly done, especially towards the end. This track is a real lyrical highlight, and has not just one, not just two, but three incredibly catchy and sing-alongable hooks that just go insanely hard. I love this one and always have. And the main thing that makes me gravitate towards this song is you can tell how much fun they had making it, and that's always what's made NERD such a great band.
You know that you got it right when people ask, hey, what are you on? Well, this is the vivid state that revolutions are born.
Lightning, fire, magic prayer. Lightning, fire.
Lightning, Fire, Magic Prayer is a real musical achievement and goes head to head with Maybe as the band's magnum opus. Now, it's definitely not my favorite NERD song. There's definitely a fair amount of tracks I'd put before it, but in terms of just pure creativity and talent, I gotta respect it and put it as their objective best. At least one of them. This is not only the longest song on the album, but it's the longest song in the band's entire discography, with it clocking in at 7.5 minutes, and not a second is wasted. This is the most, for lack of a better term, epic song the band has ever created, and the themes of grappling with both solidarity and individuality makes it yet another lyrical highlight. This song is a musical journey with an incredible climax at the end.
They got the glaze, look in their eyes. Something in the water. Roll around the world like I do in my record. All the pretty girls wanna be mine. Every time I turn around.
They got goddamn Andre 3000 on this track, bro, and very unsurprisingly, he steals the show with his performance, and has one of the best verses in the entire album. The rest of the song is great as well, with it being a very jazz-inspired track, with great drums and a great bass line. And when I say jazz, I don't mean like smooth jazz, I mean free-form jazz, that crazy and energetic type of jazz. Rollin' Them Sevens is the perfect shower concert song, and if you know what I mean, you know what I mean.
Can I bask in a bloody sun if he don't see me as a man? So I'm 100 beats to him. I panoramic, look around, I be.
We live at the rally. Thought they had it at the close. Yeah, tonight we unify society.
We get yet another Kendrick feature on this track, as well as a feature from MIA, who both do a great job. I actually prefer Kendrick's verse on this song to his verse on Don't Do It, to be honest, but they're both great. This is another banger of a track, with a really great instrumental and great verses from everyone. And the part where Pharrell and Kendrick switch back and forth is insane, and is definitely the best part of the song. Kites goes crazy.
Trucking on the street, just connected to a dream. Head bustin', hit ain't nothing, even if I gotta bleed. Sitting, waiting, patient for a uniform.
You singing welcome to the jungle. Yeah.
Come on.
Got all this freedom in your room.
Secret Life of Tigers definitely has the best Shay Haley verses on the album, as well as a great bass line. This is the most punky song on the record, and I could imagine being in a crowd and chanting along to the entire thing. People usually mosh at NERD shows though, I don't know if I do that, not gonna lie. I'm a little bit spooked. The driving beat and pitched up vocals give the song a super energetic and climactic ending, and the song as a whole is just super sick.
I'm kinda afraid to hear what after. Hey, hey, do you mind if it's me? Hey, we're going for it. Don't judge me. Tonight we're going for it. Come touch me. Tonight we're.
Well, here we have the only song on the album I don't like. Come on, you guys were doing so good. You could have just ended it with Secret Life of Tigers. Like, this song isn't horrible, but it really pales in comparison with the rest of the record, and makes for a super weak conclusion. I mean, it isn't as bad as an ending as Hot and Fun, but is this really how you guys chose to end the album, with this random weird reggae number with Ed Sheeran for some reason? Seriously, why is he here? Anyway, the song isn't that bad, but it's definitely one of my least favorite tracks from the band, and doesn't at all make for a good ending for an otherwise great album.
We're going turbo. The dance hall is back to the curb, yo.
Anyway, yeah, now I've reviewed all of the NERD albums. I really hope they come back with a new record someday. Pharrell said they were working on some records in Paris, but that was an entire year ago and we haven't gotten anything since then, but you know, a gal can dream. Anyway, that's enough out of me. Goodbye.